Cheers. Today, I want to talk about this disgusting, dangerous, fascist suggestion of Trump to take over the elections in cities and states that he doesn't like. Because this is a five-alarm fire, and it needs to be addressed like that. It needs to be treated like that. But the only reason we're here is because too many people haven't been confronting the lie head on.
He promised you order, he promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent.
That's the Republicans who know better, and that's the Democrats who. What happened to your spine, guys? Did you give it away to your campaign donors? Are you too afraid of being controversial? What's going on? We've got Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert that are brand new Congress people that have been in for a term or two. They get way more press than Congress people that have been in for 20 years, like mine. And it's disgusting because my congressperson should be way more power to control the narrative. But does she care? Is she complicit?
What is the expression? The silence is deafening.
I don't know. At this point, I don't know. But I'm going to play a call because I've been calling my reps. And I'm going to play a call at the end of this, just a touch. I'm not going to play the full thing, and it's just on speakerphone. You can't really hear the staffer that answered. When you call, sometimes you get a staffer, sometimes you get voicemail, but call and tell them that they light a fire under their ass. Because I say in this call that if there's a primary challenger, I'm voting for them. And for my rep, there is. And she's getting my vote because I want to fight her. I don't care anymore. These people, they got no spine. I don't know if they're for sale or they just don't care or they're complicit, but it's a problem. So going back to the big lie, and this is the first thing I addressed in that call. So that's another reason I'm already telling you what I tell that person on the phone. The big lie about voter fraud. The truth is that voter fraud happens about as often as people get struck by lightning.
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
But Republicans are getting on the news, they're getting in front of the reporters, and they're talking about it, and they're talking about it, and they're talking about it, so people hear it. But without the Democrats, given the other side isn't being told the truth about when you vote, you can't just show up and say, hey, I vote. You can't just drive around town and vote it in many places as you want. That's not how voting works in this country. We should know better. You need to register, and that registration is checked and double checked, and it's triple checked because they're checking to see if you're already registered in another city or state. They're checking that. And yes, they're checking to see if you're a citizen, but also they're even checking with criminal databases because a lot of states, you can't vote unless if you committed a felony. Some states you can't vote at all. In other states you can, but you have to pay all your fines. You have to serve your time, things like that. And look up voter fraud. And you're going to see that a lot of times when people get caught for voter fraud, it's because they thought that all their fines were paid. And some of them even called the state and asked, and they were told, yeah, you're fine, you can vote. But there was another fine hanging out there that they didn't know about. And, oh, that's fraud. You weren't allowed to vote, and you're busted. And some of them went back to prison and served time for that. So, yeah, look it up. The registrations are checked. And it is a big lie. And it is a big lie that isn't being challenged head on. It should have been challenged years ago. And the only reason we're in this situation right now with Trump wanting to nationalize the elections is because those spineless worms not talking about the big lie head on. So I use this app, 5Calls, to call my reps, and it's simple. Just put in your zip code and it'll give you links You click the link and it dials directly to their DC office. You got another option to do their local offices. So if you got time to protest, you got time to call. And if you do protest, please be safe. Use a body camera. Turn your phone off so you don't have all the tracking apps on, and light a fire. Tell your reps that this is the situation. The building is on fire. And when I say that, there was a story about the victims of the survivors of 9/11 when those towers were hit. If you've ever been in a fire drill in an office, you know everybody just goes. It's not a thing. You just get up and you go. There are some people that say, "Oh, I'm on a call and this is too important," or "I'm doing something," and they'll try to do I'm too important for that. But generally, you just leave. But when there's a real situation like 9/11, people freeze, they freak out, they panic. They're like, "Oh, is this real? What do I do? What do I do?" And the survivors said that a lot of people were just walking around talking to each other like, "Is this real? Is this a situation? Do we really need to evacuate?" And that's what our Congress and our Senate, too many people are doing right now. They're acting like the building isn't on fire, but it's on fire. But they're just like walking around. Did he say that? Should I talk to somebody? Should I do something? Maybe I'll file a lawsuit. I don't know. The building is on fire. This is a big deal. So, like I said, I make the call. I want you to make the call, and be safe out there. And I love you. And cheers. Hello, I have a comment for the Congresswoman. Um, Trump has been talking about nationalizing the election and taking over the election from Democratic cities and states. And this all goes back to the big lie about the election being stolen.